Hot topic, isn't it? Payment processors. Everybody wants to know about it at the moment. And Comfort asked myself and Jeffrey to come on to try and explain a little bit more to you guys, really the ins and outs of what payment processes are, why it is important for us to have it in-house, and our best guesstimate of what routes the company might be going on at the moment. And before we start, this is our four's opinion here, what we are going to talk about now. This is nothing from corporate. This is not been told to us or anything like this. This is our best guesstimate that we can give you guys about payment processors and maybe routes that they are looking at. So what is a payment processor? Okay, a payment processor is a funny thing, really. It is a PSP, a payment service provider, is the more technical word for it. But really, this is a third-party company that allows businesses to accept electronic payments such as credit cards, debit cards, etc. And a PSP acts as an intermediary between those that make the payments, i.e. the consumer, and those who accept them, i.e. the company or the retailer. They will often provide merchant services alongside the acceptance of payments as well, and act as a payment gateway or payment processor for e-commerce and actually bricks and mortars as well, or shopping or anything that you already know right now. They also might offer other things, risk management, etc., currency exchanges, all these types of things as well. PSPs establish technical connections with acquiring banks and card networks, but also enabling merchants to accept different payment methods without the need to partner with any particular banks. So what does all that mean? Before we get going on to other bits in layman's terms, basically, a payment processor is not necessarily a bank. Okay, it's basically a clearing room. It is a third-party intermediary that allows somebody to pay for something, and they will process that money and then send it forward to the reciprocant. Okay, obviously there's a charge for it. This is why they're in the business, because they will put normally card fees on that. But there's also another side to payment processors as well. That is, as we all know, the Visa and MasterCard mark. Why is that such an important deal? When you see we accept Visa, we accept MasterCard or Amex on a sign or through anything you buy online. It's security, guys. To have that validation as a payment processor, PSP, to accept these types of payments, whether it be Visa, MasterCard, Amex or others, Diners Club, etc. They have to be certified. They have to be legally verified by Visa, by MasterCard or Amex that they are legitimate in exactly what they are doing. And that is worldwide, okay, across the globe. And this gives confidence not only to the customer, but also to the person that is receiving as well. It all adds to what a consumer is looking for when they are making a payment, whether it be online or whether it be in another scenario. Also, payment service provider fees are typically charged in one or two ways: as a percentage of a transaction or a fixed cost. Now, many of you who have activated your account by purchasing OCONNECT would have seen this already. It would have come up as a extra on top of it, and this is the card provider charging a fee for that service. It fluctuates to do mainly to do with currency exchanges, how you're paying, etc., and also whereabouts in the globe that you are. Now then, we are just talking about what it is at the moment. We're going to go and with myself and Jeffrey down different routes as well, and we're going to talk about the things and maybe have a bit of a chat about it. But I think it's important at this stage for everybody to know what exactly a payment processor is, how it operates, and what it does. So I've talked about the fees, okay, and all the rest of it. Okay, with security, okay, each merchant remains responsible for his actions and must accordingly ensure that the selected provider observes the guidelines which in any country that they are in. They need to be compliance with the PCI and DSS guidelines, okay, and 4 levels of PCI compliance that must be respected by the PSB depending on the volume of transactions, as well as the details about the level of risk assessed by payment brands, and the payment service provider has to follow these high standards. Why am I telling you this, and why is this very, very important to ONPASSIVE and our scenario that we have seen going on with our payment processors? Okay, the levels which I was talking to you just a minute about data protection and safeguards, security, and all the rest of it that payment processors have to adhere to are in 4 levels. I've just told you that. The first level is over 6 million transactions annually. The second level is between 1 and 6 million transactions annually. The third level is 20,000 to 1 million transactions annually. And the last one is less than 20,000 transactions annually. This is important because when you're a new company, you actually don't know how many transactions that you are going to be doing on an annual basis. Yes, you can have best guesstimates. Yes, you think it might be that or it might not be that, but you have to tell that payment processor what you believe is going to be your annual transactions that you think are going to process through this payment gateway. Remember, it is a third party. This is not in-house. And we are going to talk about going down the in-house route in a moment. So my understanding is that in those early days, we, as when I say we, ONPASSIVE had a backwards and forwards. They had meetings with the payment processor that had been using for a very long time. They said, listen, we are going to be going live with our first product on the 1st of September. We are expecting a big volume. Are you okay with this? We're expecting this amount of volume, whatever it may be, and with this many transactions. They were way off the mark. They were not expecting to have the influx that they had within a 24 or 48 hour period, and lights and whistles were going off all over the place, okay, because merchants have safeguards. They have parameters that they have to work between to stop fraudulent transactions and money laundering and all the blah-de-blahs that go on behind the scenes as far as money is concerned. That was the first hurdle that we came across. We then sorted out a second merchant, and unfortunately that second merchant was affiliated with the first merchant, and so we ended up having the same problems once again, unbeknown to ONPASSIVE. And then there was that long period of time until we moved up to Christmas, and we have managed to sort out lots of smaller options as far as merchanting is concerned. But that's not actually the big goal. The big goal at the moment for ONPASSIVE is obviously to have a facilitated payment service provider that can do the job of money going into the company, but more importantly, money coming out of the company. So where is the sticking point at the moment as far as this is concerned? It goes really, in my opinion, back to the promise of our CEO, Ash Mufareh. Why is that a big deal? Because he promised that we are going to be a global business in every single country, which means that the payment provider that we have or use has to be able to accept payments from every single country in the globe, unless there's sanctions or whatever that are out of ONPASSIVE's control, obviously. But more importantly, to be able to pay into these people's bank accounts in their own currency. This is the biggest sticking point that we have at the moment. And I do believe we have workarounds at the moment, and we'll probably get more information of how this is all going to go. But it really has supercharged and made us as a company look at the alternative. And what is that alternative? And that's to have it in-house. This has always been one of the pillars of what Ashmi Farah has said to owning the internet. We know to have your own ecosystem, single sign-on with all the products and services within that one house is one of them. To have your own data centers where you are hosting your own products and services, so you're not outsourcing. The other one is to have your own domain name registrar, plus hosting of websites within it on your own data center. And the last one is to have your own payment gateway so that you can accept payments and also pay out payments all in-house. So let's go down the in-house route at the moment. What do we think that the route of the company is going? There's two ways that they could be going at the moment. One is build your own. Okay, from scratch, build it. We have the technical know-how. You can apply for the licenses. It takes time. You can build whatever you like and it will be all yours. This takes a lot of time, but more importantly, an absolute boatload of money. Okay, just get onto Google and look at how much it costs to actually put one of these up. The more realistic route that they are probably going down is you can buy a licensed merchant, okay, for your own use that is cloud hosted. Why is that probably, in my opinion, the route they're going down? Because you actually own that software in your own name. We are hosting it on our own data centers and we have full control over it. But we are paying a licensing fee to another company to use their software and all the rest of it. They don't have any involvement as a third-party merchant does right at this moment for processing the card payments in and out, because we are doing that and we are setting those parameters. We are basically having it whitelisted under the ONPASSIVE brand, paying whatever the fee may be to be able to use it. So this, I think, is, for me, the whole reason why that does not want us to go out of pocket if we have activated our accounts again. He's said this many times before. There is no point in releasing any other products if money is only going one way, and that is to the company. He doesn't want that to happen. He wants to be able to have it a two-way street. This means you can pay for a product, people make commissions, you can withdraw it, excuse me, and it goes either into your bank account or it goes into crypto wallets if that is your choice. If it was only crypto, guys, this would be done and dusted ages ago, okay, because it's so easy to be able to transfer money digitally. And I do believe, excuse me, that this is going to be part of the process of the new gateway system, by the way. Again, me guessing, but I'm sure that it will all come out in the wash. And I think, my opinion is, we are getting very, very close. So I'm looking forward to hearing updates from corporate to see where we're at. But in my opinion, this is what's been happening. And I hope that the brief explanation about merchants, payment processors, gateways, etc., brought a little bit of information to the table.